Right now, our top story at 5 o'clock, a retired Jefferson County Reserve deputy is the victim who was shot down in the parking lot of a Middletown condominium complex yesterday morning. Hello, everybody. I'm Doug Proffitt. Brand new developments tonight after that East End complex endured a day of violence and a detonation of a suspicious package by the bomb squad. WHAS11's Alexandra Goldberg and photojournalist Gabby DeGeorge also have more on a new twist, the arrest of a man close to the victim.
So there was a controlled detonation here.
Controlled detonation right here under the guy's car.
A damaged and blistered car, parts of it hanging off after the LMPD bomb squad detonated a suspicious package in a Middletown neighborhood after 5 p.m. on Wednesday. Detonating what police described as a suspicious package after a man is shot and killed.
That's from where they detonated the bomb from the bomb squad. We were all in the clubhouse, and of course we felt the large boom.
That's the explosion Lonnie Thurman felt on Wednesday evening. It happened hours after this man, 65-year-old John McQuillan, was shot dead. He retired from the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office in 2021. Police looking for the suspect found this box truck and the suspicious package they destroyed that led to the boom that shook the quiet condo neighborhood of Swan Point.
The only thing that happens in this neighborhood is the car gets broken into every now and then.
I was very surprised. Very surprised. Did not expect that here.
We learned the victim, who neighbors say went by Tommy McQuillan, was a Jefferson County Reserve deputy for over 10 years.
He came in some of our dinners that we go to each week, and so a lot of people liked him. He was a very well-liked guy from what we knew the short time that we've met him. So,
in a twist, 42-year-old Brandon McQuillan was arrested Wednesday morning. The police citation says he had an AR-15, is a convicted felon, and he had a protective order filed against him by John McQuillan. Court documents confirm the two had EPOs against one another.
It's a very sad situation. We are a very, very close community.
Thurman is the president of the Swan Point Association, the one who had to call McQuillan's girlfriend.
And I had to call her and wake her up to give her this sad news. At the time, he had not passed away yet, but then I think the police officers came and informed her that he had.
Police say the investigation is still active, and at Swan Point returns to serenity. Evidence of the tragedy lingers on Winter Springs Court.
Alexandra Goldberg there with the latest reporting tonight. Both LMPD and Middletown police are investigating, and they're assuring the public that there is no, at the moment, increased danger to the community. All right, Chief Meteorologist Ben Pine, he is tracking a big warm-up, and we're going to get close to 80 sometime. I know it's coming, Ben.
Yeah, not far from 80 today at 79, and tomorrow likely warmer near record highs, only 4 off the record today. And that warmth is fueling a couple of isolated thunderstorms. Most areas are dry. Most areas will stay dry this evening, but take a look at this as we zoom in. We've got a little bit of a hail core here. Might be getting some dime or nickel-size hail. This is right near Preston Highway, I-65, and Fern Valley Road. So this is moving off to the east. It's not severe, but some brief heavy rainfall, maybe some small hail out of that. And then you got another shower here around 265 and the Snyder and I-64. As we expand out, again, most areas will stay dry this evening. Can't rule out maybe a couple of isolated showers, maybe a few rumbles of thunder. Then clearing out in time for the total lunar eclipse, which begins around 2:30 a.m. until 3:30 for totality. Very warm, breezy, near record highs in the upper 70s, low 80s for tomorrow. And there you can see that shower as we look off here towards the airport with our live cam, our Midway University camera. Upper 60s and 70s across the area right now. Just a couple of rain-cooled spots out there, but mostly very warm and about 20 above normal. So clearing out late tonight, low 56 degrees, noon 70, and up to around 80 for tomorrow afternoon, very close to that record high. As we go into the weekend, we'll be tracking a couple rounds of some strong to severe storms, especially on Saturday coming up.
All right, Ben, thank you very much. We want to bring you the latest, the top story here today, as today marks 5 years since the killing of Breonna Taylor in Louisville. Taylor, of course, was shot and killed by Metro Police as officers raided her apartment just before 1 in the morning 5 years ago. WHAS11's Isaiah Kim Martinez is joining us live at Jefferson Square Park, which, of course, was the site of major protests 5 years ago. And Isaiah, you talked to Breonna Taylor's mother ahead of this date. As each year passes by, does she see Louisville retreating or progressing from the momentum in 2020?
Well, Doug, that's a great question. I asked her that, and she told me she doesn't believe LMPD and the mayor have done enough here to repair relations with the community, and it comes as that federal reform agreement with the U.S. Department of Justice is up in the air. Tamika Palmer worries whether too much time has passed for any meaningful action.
Did good. Good job.
A show of support for Tamika Palmer as I was finishing my interview with her on March 12th, a day before the date she wishes she could erase from the calendar, March 13th.
5 years. Breaks my heart.
Now, Breonna Taylor's mother says for the first time she's hearing LMPD acknowledge they fell short.
That incident was an absolute tragedy, and LMPD failed.
Chief Paul Humphrey a week ago.
For that, we are very sorry that our failures contributed to their pain.
It's the first time I've heard anybody say that they've screwed up. And I think that's huge.
It's been 5 years since the botched police raid on Breonna Taylor's home.
It shouldn't have never happened, and she deserves to still be here.
March 13th, 2020, Metro Police shooting and killing her. This memorial for Breonna set up at Jefferson Square Park, her face resting above flowers and a sign reading, "Legends Never Die." One of thousands who flooded the streets in protest for months, starting in the summer of 2020, demanding police accountability and oversight. Where we stand on that today differs depending on who you ask.
As far as what the city needs to do and how to reconnect with the people that's in the city, I would have thought we should be at a better point 5 years later.
And as for that federal consent decree, again, the reform agreement signed with the U.S. Department of Justice in December, it is in the hands of a Trump-appointed federal judge who will decide whether to approve it or not. Now, we have heard from the mayor he appears to be, in essence, sort of preparing the community for a scenario where the judge throws it out. We'll have more on what he had to say about that, our conversation with him, coming up here at 6. Doug.
Well, if that federal consent decree was pulled off the table, that would be a major impact for Louisville, because once these things go into place, Isaiah, they are in place for sometimes 10 years or more.
Yeah, and costs upwards of $8, $9, $10 million that the city, the local taxpayer, pays for, Doug. So this could have a major shift in which direction this city goes, what it pays for. And ultimately, we do know from community members here, they see the consent decree, some do, as sort of their hope to move forward. The oversight of LMPD that they called for years ago, and if it disappears, the consent decree, they're concerned what may take its place. Doug.
All right, very good. As the crowd's growing there at Jefferson Square Park tonight on 5 years. While the formal consent decree is still awaiting approval by a federal judge, people right here in Louisville are pushing for what's being called the People's Consent Decree now. The legislation's goal is to formally recognize the wrongdoings of Metro Police and how the people of Louisville want to move forward with better policing. Former Kentucky State Representative and activist Attica Scott says this resolution is crucial for the city and its community in moving forward.
You're at a crossroads in Louisville. It is time for us to decide which way we want to go. Is it toward equity, fairness, and justice? Is it toward the same direction we've been going in that doesn't work for many of us?
It came together to sign. I'm hopeful that
Councilmember Shamika Parrish-Wright, who co-sponsored the legislation, says it may be a few months until it gains traction. U.S. Congressman Morgan McGarvey of Louisville also called to recognize Taylor's death in our nation's capital, speaking on the House floor this week. McGarvey urging people to remember Taylor and the impact she had on those around her.
Breonna was a sister, a daughter, a girlfriend. Breonna was a caregiver working at U of L's emergency room to save lives. Breonna was a 26-year-old with her whole life in front of her. She had dreams, including of becoming a mom someday. Breonna loved her family, her community, and more than anything, she loved life.
McGarvey also recognizes the changes in policing since her death and says the country still has a long way to go. With the fate of Louisville's consent decree in limbo, the local branch of the NAACP is urging city leaders to reappoint the city's Inspector General, Ed Harness. You see him here. His term ends in November. The Office of Inspector General and the Civilian Review and Accountability Board were created in 2020 after a police officer shot and killed Taylor. The office works to investigate complaints, practices, and policies of LMPD. Raymond Burst, the president of Louisville's NAACP, called the consent decree essential to Louisville moving forward.
NAACP and our membership are boldly in support of Ed Harness. We're boldly in support of the consent decree being issued, and the failure of the judge to in fact do that requires that our Metro Council and the mayor come together for the sake of this community to move us forward.
Mayor Craig Greenberg has said he's committed to reforms regardless of what happens in federal court. Stay with us. Coming up all new at 5:30, the Roots 101 Museum founder Lamont Collins will be joining me live here in the studio to reflect on the 5 years since Breonna Taylor's passing. He'll discuss the changes he's seen since then and what more he believes still needs to be done. Plus, we're going to be running an extended clip from Chief Paul Humphrey and what he had to say about this 5 years ago. That's coming up at 5:30.